So people from community who could be from the churches or from businesses, organizations who are wondering how to be a part of reconciliation, but maybe not having certain educational backgrounds, but they want to become a contributor in their community and to create change or social justice. To hear the word settler is unsettling, for one thing, but a lot of people don't associate themselves as being a settler. Oftentimes people think about it as the first peoples coming to the lands. When I think about Indigenous and settler peoples, I think about how are they related to the land that is here. And so for Indigenous peoples, they're related to the lands because they've always been here, and their lives are intricately bound up in the land. As someone who has a mixed heritage of being Indigenous and yet having that settler heritage, being colonized, but also the colonizer, I've had to really grapple with what that means for me. If we don't understand each other, if we don't get past the stereotypes, the animosities that we have for one another, we're going to continue to have these misunderstandings. The primary reading for this course will be the final report of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission to give learners an understanding of the reconciliation process. But as I've been taught too, is we can't think reconciliation until we know the truth. So part of that is going into history and looking at what is the truth that Indigenous peoples have been experiencing. Because Indigenous peoples have been written out of the history of the books that we have come to know as Canadians. Canadians know the peacemaking story of how our country has come to be, but they are not so familiar with the story that as they settled the land was taken away from the Indigenous peoples. So we have to talk about that piece of it if we're to understand settler-Indigenous relations, but also reconciliation. The longest journey is going from the head to the heart, and I think it's when they see how they're connected to the information that change is possible, and that's the moving from the head to the heart.